back to Rickfabb's garage. So as most of you know, this is my 2005 SRT Ford. I built this back before I even opened up the business at my house back in Jersey when I was still living up there. She's pretty much custom most of the stuff just because the market for the neons is very small. So, but even with that, we last time we had this on the dyno, it made close to 1,000 horsepower to the wheel. The best time right now with it is a 985 at 154 or 155, something like that. We're trying to back that down, make it a little faster. We just have to get back to the track with all the things going on. Obviously the tracks are closed, but she's ready to go. Hopefully, I think within another couple of weeks, there's going to be a Cletus in cars, so we should be out there and try to see if we can get it any faster. We also have here K-Series EK that we are building for a customer. She's pretty much buttoned up. We did all the custom fab work, inverted the intake manifold so that we could run the intercooler pipes as short as possible, full exhaust out the back. We sumped the fuel tank, ran Weldon pump so that she'll have all the fuel she needs. She's a full stock car, everything that needs, we wanted to make this as incognito as possible as far as, nothing drastic, no spacers on the hood, no anything. We can close this hood and she will close just like factory, of where you don't see anything, or if you don't know what you're looking at, you wouldn't know if it's a single cam with a turbo or whatever this K-Series turbo is going to make, which we would assume somewhere around the 700 mark is fair game for it with what it's got done. Here's the motor that's going to go in my Jeep as I was describing. So it's a 6-liter LS with twin turbos on it. We just got the front plate from ICT. Got the ICT alternator bracket so that it would, so I could run an alternator because it's a street car. It does have a Holley oil pan. These exhaust manifolds are from CX Racing. We have two Precision 6466s that are going to go on it. Two Precision 44 millimeter gates, which I'm not sure if I'm going to use those or if I'm going to go with the new style piston waste gates. I'm still up in the wind of what I'm going to do. I've been doing some research on it. But yeah, that's what she's going to do. As far as that, obviously that's just the junkyard motor that we got. It is going to get all ran through. Right now it's just for mock-up purposes and fabrication purposes. So this is a 55 Ford Ranchero that the customer decided to turn into a gasser. He's an older gentleman, I think in the mid-70s. He says that this was a cool race car when he was a kid, so he wanted to recreate what he had. So he had the leaf spring and solid axle conversion put on the front. When he came in, he just wanted to get it tuned, so we tuned it. He ended up going to the track and going 7-1s back-to-back 8th mile. He ended up breaking the transmission and frying first gear, so I had Larry Hart rebuild the transmission. We went from a 10-inch converter to an 8-inch converter, and then we ended up refreshing the motor for him, putting in a set of Brodix heads and a better intake manifold, all port match, everything that we could do to maximize this motor on pump gas. It does have a nitrous kit on it. We have never shot it on nitrous going down the track. So the guy kind of is a little hesitant to use the nitrous. So we'll get him to where he needs to go on motor and pump gas, and then if he's comfortable, we'll turn on the nitrous kit. But for now, this is where it's at. We're hoping with the new modifications to go, 6.5, 6.6 on the 8th, if we're lucky. It is a little sketch to drive this thing down the track with the solid axle and it pointed so far up. It starts to wobble a little bit at the end. So for me, it's okay. For him, when he drives it, he gets a little scared. So I ordered some tire tubes from MH to stiffen up the wall and the tire in the back, see if it helps it a little bit. But other than that, obviously we're waiting until the tracks will open up so we can go testing. I just putting up the small little things, figuring out some ways to get better air into the carburetor. because this thing, we did some tests, and she would run 7.1s without a hood, about 7.3s with the hood on. So we were losing a lot of time because it was not getting enough air to the carburetor to make the horsepower. So we're just trying to figure out ways that we can do it without having to run without a hood. We want it to look complete because this gentleman does drive the car. It's a little car meets that here and there, so we didn't want him to drive around without a hood. We have another customer. His name is Joseph. This is 09 Challenger that he's had for years. We tuned this thing probably 4.5 years ago, almost 5. Made 606 pump gas with a supercharger. He was happy with that for a while, and now we took the motor out, refreshed it all, did cam, valve springs, retainers, push rods. We did an ATI with 15% overdrive, so it'll give us another 2 pounds of boost or so. We also did a spec twin disc. We did a Hellcat transmission behind this, just because the factory transmission was A, more expensive than the Hellcat transmission, and B, is not as strong. So it was a smarter idea just to go with the Hellcat transmission. But with that came some challenges due to nobody makes a drive shaft to go from one transmission to the other. So I had to get creative with it and machine some parts and make it work. But it's all there and it's all working. We did G-force axles out back. We did the braces on the differential. And now we're just almost done with it. I just need to button up the meth injection kit and put all the cowl parts back together and get her fired up. We're hoping for somewhere around the 700 mark now on pump gas and meth. So most of it is done. He sent out the wheels, had them powder coated, had the brakes powder coated. We built them a full headers back exhaust. So we put Stainless Works headers, which are phenomenal. They are great. I've actually ordered a set for my personal Jeep also because they just fit perfect. No clearance issues, no nothing. We ended up making them a full side exit exhaust that actually one of the tips is out here off. We made it out of flat or oval 3-inch tubing to clearance because he wanted a side exit. We ended up using some motorcycle carbon fiber tips that I modified because they were nice and small and oval to make it clearance wise. That way he's not bottoming out everywhere. I have to keep it off due to the lift. But other than that, she's pretty much done. We should have her fired up within a day or two. I'm gonna make some stuff to make it shoot the meth directly in the middle of the throttle body. It's kind of a tricky thing to do because of the way that the supercharger pipe is. It's not really a pipe, it's like a little box that they make due to clearance issues in the front of the motor. But I was actually talking with a few other guys, and that's what they suggest to do also, which was my idea, but I ran it over with other guys that do a lot of meth injection kits just so that, you know, I didn't want to do something that was going to hurt the motor or not beneficial to what we're trying to do. But other than that, she is a stick shift car, which, you know, it's not very common to see these in stick shift. They're mainly all automatic. And yeah, that's about it.